Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nadeau with you as we kick off the racing weekend here at Gulfstream Park, and you can see it out there. Another beautiful day here in Hollandale Beach. We've got a fast main track, tapetas in play, and of course a firm green turf course looking good out there. And also big news as well is that Rainbow Six just continues to grow. $550,000 in the gross jackpot guarantee kicks off today in race number 4. And, you know, if you've been with us each and every day, as I know you have during the championship meet, boy, have they been sending it in on this Rainbow Six. And it's just going to continue to grow. This is the biggest pot we've had in quite some time. And, you know, when it gets up to a number like this, they really, really fire at it for a life-changing score. So get involved. It is not an easy sequence today. There was a very heavy favorite at, I believe, 6 to 5 in the morning line that came out of one of the races. So it's going to really make it wide open today. I'll have a ticket a little bit later on, but that early pick 5 kicking off in about 56 minutes. These pools have been really big as well. And we'll take a look at my ticket now. Some scratches in race 5 today. I lost my long shot, unfortunately. This is a $32 early pick 5 ticket. My best bet of the day is in race number 2. That's the 7 Battle of Dover. I'll spread in race 3 to the 3, and that is Akamar. He'll be a nice price in there. Race number 4, another single. I'm not going to try to beat Calming Sea for Herm Walensky, who's done such a good job. And then in race number 5, this is where I lost my long shot. The 11 is out of the 9, is out of this race, so I do scratch in to the 11 test factor. Again, I scratch into him. I am a little bit against him, and I certainly was when my long shot was in there, but $32 on this early pick 5 ticket. Let's get to the opener now. This is a good one. This is a difficult race. We're going 5 furlongs on that firm turf course. Maiden special weight for 4-year-olds and up, a clean field of 8. Very early in the betting, but look at that there. We've got 4 horses between 3 to 1, 7 to 2. It kind of does look like that type of race. One of those horses is the 2 Power of Justice. I want to show you the replay of his debut. Laura Cesaris does such a good job with these turf sprinters. He was slow into stride. I'm not going to call it a there off you lose, but you can see right here he breaks slowly. This was the determined effort race. The winner's the 10, this Pletcher Potential Freak that was so good. Well, here's Power of Justice chasing wide. He's going to flatten out late. This was the ultimate meltdown race. The horses that were 1, 2, 3 on the finish line were 8, 9, 10 early, and you can see the 10 is going to win for fun. Remember that name because he could be any kind for Todd Pletcher. The race completely fell apart. Power of Justice was immediately under the gun from the start. He was chasing. You saw him wide. I expect better today. Laura Cesaris, 25% in turf sprints. She does such a good job. You think of the work she's done in the past with the Grade 3 winner, Yes, I'm Free. So I expect to move forward from Power of Justice, a $65,000 gelded son of Scat Daddy, Justify, who's by Scat Daddy. The 7 is Geordie's Dream. There are some fillies in this race, by the way. There's actually a trio of the 4 of them, which is very odd. Half the field is fillies. I'm personally don't think that's all that big of a deal. Geordie's Dream's going to come over from Tampa for Bertrand Manchan, who's also got a long shot in this race on the inside, the 1 Commencement. This horse is fast. She drew a perfect outside attack post, and she's got Jose Ortiz, too. That was a very good effort at Tampa to be headed out at 16 to 1. You're not going to get anywhere close to that today. We know how speed plays on this turf course. She's very, very dangerous. The wild card is the 8 Devilment. First time gelding for Joe Orsino. Paco is here, going to try turf off a June layoff at our sister track, Laurel, for Brittany Russell. What we get today, I don't know. This is a tab the tote race, to be sure. Race number 2 kicks off the early pick 4. We're a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta in here. Scratch out the 6 Stable Storm in this 12-5 maiden claimer. Samantha will be down with me a little bit later on. She was running around Palm Beach Downs, catching up with Todd Pletcher this morning in his Pegasus Hopefuls. Let's take a look at her ticket now. And like I said, she will be here later this afternoon. There it is, $8 for her. She's with me on Battle of Dover. I'll show you why in a second. And then she is spreading a little bit in race 3 and in race 5. And it looks like that is, that's my ticket. We've got the Tropical Turf pick 3. That's my ticket. See, it's all getting away from me today. That's what happens when we work solo here. It's my ticket because she's got the Tropical Turf Pick 3. It's just $8. I thought we had a moment there, but this is my ticket. Battle of Dover is my best bet. Let's show you why. Because he ran huge last time, and TB12 always is in this race as well, and Battle of Dover beat him comfortably. They're close on the morning line because TB12 always is IRAD, and they're just going to bet him with two hands regardless. But Battle of Dover ran the best race here. Look at this. He's checking. He's stopping right now, and he ended up getting beaten a nose here, while TB12 had the run of the race and still couldn't quite get it done. He's the 6 horse coming now. No traffic, no issues. Big time effort from Battle of Dover. He gets pushed inside too. Now, I didn't think this was a bad rail day on the Tapeta, but we know in general it's just not a good place to be down there. Very, very game effort. IRAD gets aboard. TB12 always. They're going to bet him. I get it. But the horse I want out of that race, and that's my best bet, is Battle of Dover in race number 2. We'll go to race number 3 now. 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. These are 4-year-olds and up, which have never won to the tag, $8,000. This is a difficult race, and I think you can maybe, hopefully, extract some value from the 3 Akamar in a spot like this. Getting back to the Tapeta is going to need some pace help in this race, but his Tapeta races, 2, 3, 4, and 5 back. 2 of them were sprints. They're pretty solid enough efforts. They put them kind of in the group here. There's no one in this race that you really are supposed to be scared of. And he's going to be a square price in a spot like this. He's got some versatility. Lucas Panici, who's been aboard him in the past, I think he can, he can keep this horse a little closer maybe than he has been, and maybe we can upset him. Robin and Eli, 1 for 15, Patter Pop Racing, so we got to respect that. Fernando Abreu as well. We're dropping in half from 16 to 8 today. Blinkers come off, and that's a worry to me because she has not exactly shown a lot of early foot either. Gets a little weight allowance running against males today. We'll see what we get. The barn has been very live. The ownership has been very, very live. They put their horses in good spots. I don't want Grand Bay. I do not want this horse at a short price. I want to show you a stat here as well for Victor Barboza Jr. He tied for the trainer's title. He's actually 0 for 10 in Turf Tapeta sprints the past 60 days here. The barn has been very, very cold. Well, this horse is in for 8 today. Was running for 35. Was running for 50. And I say running, I use that term very loosely. Just maybe at the end of the day, he is an $8,000 claimer. IRAD is here. Those are all positives. But I don't have any idea where his form is right now. The barn is not winning races. It's just a matter of time. We know how good Victor is. But this is the type of horse, when you come to the racetrack, you got to play against at an underlaid, short price. And that's exactly what I'll do with Grand Bay. 3 down, 6 to go. When we come back, it's Rainbow 6 time. $550,000 in that gross jackpot guarantee. Stay tuned.
It's tradition. Every year, the stars gather for a spectacle. Stars of the racing world collide to cement their legacy in their quest for greatness. Bear witness as we raise the stakes and shatter the status quo. Watch as the brightest stars in fashion take the stage, and we forge unforgettable memories. Be part of this storied heritage. Revel in performances from the superstars of entertainment, and the unexpected awaits you at every turn. Join us in this unrivaling celebration, where champions ascend and legends are created. This is the Pegasus World Cup, where stars align.
And they're off.
And welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian Nato with you. 3 races down. Samantha's got that tropical turf pick 3 in race 1. We'll show that when we get to the paddock preview for the opener. 15% takeout, $3 base bet. Great bet, but let's get to the rainbow now because this pool is massive. $550,000 in your gross jackpot guarantee. I had to rework this a little bit today because, as I mentioned, I lost my long shot in race number 5. So I had to add a few horses in there. 64.80, a little bit bigger than I'd normally give out, but again, this pool now, I think it warrants maybe taking a rubber band or two off the bankroll and getting involved. I scratch into the 11 test factor. I got to be honest with you. I think the fact that test factor is very vulnerable in there, I think that's another good reason to get involved in this Rainbow 6. In race number 6, the top pick is the 8, and that is burning turf for Sandino Hernandez, who's been burning everything of late. He's just been white hot. 5 for 12 now, I believe, at the championship meet. Race number 7, the top pick is the 9, and that is Bourbon Resolve. That dirt race, what a feature we have for you today. Mr. Ripple on the comeback trail. Race number 8, the 6-horse Flying Black, another Sandino Hernandez horse, this one off the claim. And in race number 9, to get out of this card, the 6 Mexican Sugar for me on a drop for Joe Catanese. This is a $64.80 ticket. It is not an easy sequence. I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off immediately in race number 4 with the single of Calming Sea, and then we're going to go from there. We're at 1.16 on the Tapeta. These are $16,000 2 L's for the fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. Calming Sea, 8-5 on the morning line. The job Herman Samuelensky have done, basically all of 2023 is continued at the championship meet. I know that they've run a lot of live horses that have run well. Lure Him In, we'll see tomorrow in the feature Sunshine race. Calming Sea, I think, getting back to the Tapeta now. Ran very well on the turf last time. She couldn't quite see it out on the lead. The Tapeta race 2 back where she broke her maiden was, to me, the defining effort in this group, and I think it's going to put her above and beyond the rest of them. She also has some upside in a race where there are a lot of 1-fers in this race, and one of those is the 3 Stuck in Malibu at 1 for 14 with 5 underneath finishes. The other problem, too, for Patrick Biancone, and he got a win the other day, it was good to see, Impanema Princess got it done. Stuck in Malibu, a lot like Impanema Princess, doesn't have any early speed. I think that's a problem, okay? We don't want to, especially when the best horse in the race, Calming Sea, is going to be comfortably ahead of her, and she's going to have to run her down. I think that's going to be a problem for Stuck in Malibu, and you can kind of see it by her form. She's not a big fan of running horses down. At 1 for 14, 5 slices underneath. Okay, fine. Looked good breaking her maiden last time. I got to give her that for the Mubarak Barn. Now she's facing winners. Calming Sea's already got that behind her, and that could be a little bit of a jump for Okay, fine, though she clearly comes in good form. Late pick 5 time in race number 5. We're at 5.5 on the Tapeta here in this $50,000 maiden optional claimer. 3-year-olds, the Florida breds, don't have to be in for the tag. This is the scratch race, and I lost my long shot in here. The 1 Gibran is out. The 5 Wild Caught is out. The 9, that was my long shot, Over Mars is out. The 10 Fulanito is out. So we got a lot of starch out of this race. The 13 Fort Charles draws in. That is very significant because he can win this race. Let's take a quick look at Samantha's ticket. Again, she'll be with me a little bit later on this afternoon. She can update it and go through it herself, but it's an $18 play for her. She is singling at the end in race number 9, and she's singling Melody's Kiss. I like that for Mike DiPaolo, who's already got a win at the meet, and with a horse kind of like this, a dropper. That's what Melody's Kiss is in the finale. Let's get back to race number 5 here. I already alluded to it. I scratch into test factor. I don't like to change my picks a lot when scratches occur. We kind of move everybody up in the order. I'm going to show you why you should tread very lightly here, and I'm going to show you why I'm going 4 deep in the rainbow. Here's test factor at 1-5, by the way. Here's Fulanito down inside. Now, Fulanito's out of this race. Test factor is 1-5 on the tote board. He's 1-100 in the race right now, and he can't win. And he's a length and a quarter behind the winner, who's Reef Runner, and it's just, he's got to win this race. And he gets passed by Reef Runner. He's 1-5, and he could not see it out. And he wasn't all that close either. It just left a really bad taste in my mouth. Fulanito ran a much better race. way better race. Look at him dueling to the wire with Test Factor. That was 1-5 for Rohan and Irad. They're going to bet this horse with both hands again today because of the scratches and because of who he is. But you watch that race and you kind of say to yourself, "Oh, I don't know if I want to take a short number on that horse, and I don't know if I want to single him in my rainbow either." Because again, I mentioned it earlier. He's to me is the type of horse you got to play against in spots like these. Paco's on the Orsino firster down on the inside. That could be an issue now. And you wish the Misha-Wish firster is now going to be on the inside. We've said it time and time again. The rail predominantly not ideal on the Tapeta. He's going to have to hustle from there, but the works, they definitely look like he can hustle. Looks like Joe's 18% now with first-time starters, too. The stats have really, since the year changed, Joe's really moved up quite a bit. I like that. This is a tote board race on a horse like this. Let's see if he's live and taking money. Finger Roll, another one. Brittany Russell, first-time starter. We know how good of a job Brittany does. O'Sheen Murphy is here as well. This is another horse. The morning line's got out the window now with all these scratches. Regardless, you want to see these two horses taking money in here. Rohan's going to run the 13, Fort Charles. I think that's significant too, because Rohan's got Test Factor. If he's going to run both, I get that he co-owns Fort Charles as well, but these are the same group now. Everybody's here. They're the same owners. He's going to run two. That's not exactly flattering the chances of Test Factor. And Rohan's so good with everything he does. Maiden special weight dropper. Fort Charles will be nowhere close to that 6-1 morning line. Late pick 4 kicks off in race number 6. We are on a firm turf course. These are 4-year-olds and up. It's a $50,000 claimer. Never won 3 or a race since July 19th. Big scratches in here. Starting with the 6, Emirati. 6-5 on the morning line. They were going to hammer this horse for Chad Brown. Emirati is out. The 1, Uno Tiger. The 3, 7 Bridges Road. A couple of long shots are out as well. I was really looking forward to playing against Emirati. I was going to do it with Burnin' Turf off the claim for Sandino Hernandez. Won again yesterday. Barn has been doing so well at the championship meet here. Claimed this horse in August at Del Mar. He's out of jail. He's over here at Gulfstream Park, and he's got a lot of speed. And his best race is way better than who's left in here now. Unfortunately, who's left in here now is not much. 6-1 is long gone on Burnin' Turf, but I think he's a legitimate gate to wire threat for a barn that really has done nothing wrong. You're going to play Henley's Joy. You're going to do it at a lot of risk. Last time this horse won a race was June of 2019. That is 33 straight races in a row he's lost. The race he won in June of 19, the Grade 1 Belmont Derby. Those days are gone. With all that being said, he ran pretty well last time in a much better race than this. Beaten 3.5 lengths by Eldon's Prince in a 62 optional claimer. That's a good field. That's a good effort. That was also his first start on turf for Mike Maker. He might claim this horse for $62,500 in September at Kentucky Downs. So he likes something. He knows this horse very well. Had him before. What do we get today from Henley's Joy? I don't know, but getting his picture taken outside might be a little bit of a reach. Again, everybody's moving way up in here. Spirit Maker, Safi. I want to show a stat. This is wild. Safi and Ken Ramsey. Check this stat out on the turf here at Gulfstream Park the last 5 years. Safi and Mr. Ramsey doing pretty good together. 57%. The ROI is tipping towards $5. That is remarkable on the turf here at Gulfstream Park. Spirit Maker, another horse that moves way up, not only with the scratches, but he moves way up on the class drop, and he moves way up on the post swap. When you're going a mile on the Gulfstream turf and you break in post 12, you can't win. It's as simple as that. Headline news, you know how highly I think of him for Jimmy Toner. Quality G won the other day. Spirit Maker comes out of a really good race. Race number 7, late pick 3 here, a mile on a fast main track. What a feature this is. It's an optional claimer, 4-year-olds and up. Scratch the 1, Sonio de Campion. Scratch the 4, Omni King. They were long shots. They were insignificant in the grand scheme of things. This is an awesome race. It marks the return of Mr. Ripple. I'm trying to beat him. I'll talk about him in a second. Bourbon Resolve's got a big edge to me on a lot of main contenders in here. Why? He's got a recency edge on them. He had not run since April 14th at Keeneland. Ian Wilkes brought him back at Churchill on November 26th. He was a bang-up third in a good race. He's now second off the layoff, the old all systems go angle. And I think he gets all the best of it because some of his major rivals, certainly Unbridled Honor, we haven't seen since late May. Certainly Mr. Ripple, who will show you now. Mr. Ripple, we have not seen since this race in the Grade 1 Curlin, Florida Derby on April 1st. He's middle moving here into Fort Bragg, who's going to stop. Okay, Forte, the champion, wins this race. Who runs second? Oh, that's the Derby winner, Mage. Who runs third? Cyclone Mischief. He's really good, too. Mr. Ripple was beaten 5 lengths in this race. He was fourth, beaten 5 lengths in this race. This was a strong effort. Now, this is a barn switch to Christophe Clement. We have not seen Mr. Ripple since this race. I certainly haven't talked to Christophe Clement or Legacy Racing about Mr. Ripple, but I can tell you this is not the goal to win today. He might just win because he's better than these horses, but if you're going to try to beat Mr. Ripple, I think it is today because he's spotting a lot of recency on a majority of these horses. He's also facing older horses for the first time. He is 4 now, but those are all restricted 3-year-old races he was in, and obviously a 2-year-old race here as well. Yeah, he won by 9 1/4 off Works on debut. That was with Safi, but I wouldn't, I'm sure he's ready to roll today. I'm also sure he's not 100% screws tightened, so I think that's why I'm going to try to beat him today. Endpoint, I don't know what to make of him because Chad Brown, the horses, he's been cold, the barn. And Endpoint ran 9 furlongs in an off-the-turfer at Churchill. This is going to be sharp for him. Grant Aspen came back to run a really good second in the Harlan's Holiday. He's going to be in the Pegasus next week. He's got a puncher's chance in that race. But Endpoint cutting back from a demanding long stretch 9 furlongs at Churchill to a very snappy 1-turn mile here at Gulfstream Park. That could be a little tough for him. I'm a little against him. Unbridled Honor we haven't seen since May. The Whisper Hill Homebred. I don't know what you're going to get from him today. He's been off form. It's Todd. It's Irad. Maybe they bet this horse. He's an underlay. We'll see what we get. We'll have to see what Samantha says when she sees him in the flesh as well. Late double time in race number 8. It's a good one on the turf. We'll go a mile and a 16th. Fillies and mares 4 and up, which have never won 3, or again the dated claim of July 19th in this spot here. Deep competitive field. I go to the 6 Flying Black. Sandino Hernandez. I hope I'm not late to the party. I'm going to try to get him off the claim twice today. This is a daughter of Not This Time, who's 1 for 5 on the Gulfstream turf course, but she's 4 for 5 in the exacta. One of those races was in the last at right here for a quarter. Claims him for a quarter, right back for a quarter. I think she's in a good spot today for a barn that, again, has just done nothing wrong here at the championship meet. And everything he sends out, even if they're not winning, they've been running very, very well. Here's Go Big Green. I could have run the stat right back. We could have. Safi, Ken Ramsey, Irad. This is the horse to beat. 2 starts off the long, long layoff on the Tapeta. Now going to run on the turf for the first time for Safi and Ken Ramsey. The Tapeta races were very, very good. They're going to bet this horse hard. Tom Amos had her on the turf in the Midwest and up at Saratoga. She last won there. It's been a long time. That was in August of 2022. But we've got the 2 Tapeta races behind her. She's going to take some beating in here. There's no doubt about it. Wouldn't shock me at all if a lot of rainbow tickets have her singled. And then the 8 Lady Out of the Blue for Michael Matz. Good turf figures. I don't know if she can class up here, but good turf figures at Laurel and at Penn National as well. Race number 9 wraps it up here. We'll go a mile and a 16th on the Tapeta. $25,000 maiden claimers. The 3-year-old fillies are going at it. It's a field of 9. Samantha had the 9 singled. I've got the 9 in second. I want to show you Mexican Sugar here on the special weight job for Joe Catnese. Step slow at the start. We're going to see it here going 5. So you can't do this when you're going 5. You're going to see her break slow, and she's down on the inside as well. Breaks 10th of 11 in this spot. Immediately, we're under the gun already. Then she's pace compromised because this was a merry-go-round. They ran 1, 2, 3 early. They ran 1, 2, 3 late. And she's going to try to loop them wide here. And none of that's any good. So she's actually going to come into your picture right about now. And she thanks, Bob. Good work. She's going to have to swing way out here. She was only beaten 7 1/4 lengths. She's taken the biggest drop in racing today, and she gets to stretch out. By DeMarchelier out of a Mr. Greeley mare. Boy, this is 2 turns, especially on the top of this pedigree. I expect to move forward from Mexican Sugar. I like her in this spot. I already mentioned Samantha's got the 9, Melody's Kiss singled. Mike DiPaolo's already done this once at the meet, and he did it with Luis Saez, dropping from Woodbine here at Gulfstream. A special weight on debut, 40 optional claimer. Those are good races at Woodbine. This is a drop for her. I firmly believe that. The wide draw is not ideal, but Luis has already won for this barn as well, and I think Melody's Kiss is in a good spot. I would expect they bet her today. Miss Mutz is a firster for Kelly Breen. Paco is here. Kelly's having a really good championship meet as well. And then also the 5, My Blessing. Ronald Coy takes over here. They've been betting his horses. I would think they're going to bet this daughter of Caraconti too. She ran second for 35, routing on Tapeta. She's in the mix here as well, and it wouldn't shock me to see her move forward too. So that's the 9 of them for you today at Gulfstream Park. Again, Samantha will be joining me a little bit later on. 550 in the Rainbow. I just got to keep hitting on that. I cheated her on the Tropical Turf Pick 3. We'll give her due now. It kicks off. It encompasses the entire card today, and you got to get involved here. You've heard Pete upstairs talk about this a lot. You've heard us talk about this a lot as well. $3 minimum wager, 15% takeout. Races 1, 6, and 8 today. And what I was alluding to with Pete and myself and Samantha, the payouts have been astronomical for what the prices of the winning horses are. And that's what happens when you have a player-friendly wager at 15% takeout and a $3 minimum bet. Get involved in this pick now. Today it's going to take the length of the card. Really, really good bet. She's got a ticket. I'll show it for the opener. Fast and Furious, Octane, Highlights and Headlights, the Sunshine feature tomorrow, the Sunshine Classic. This was a power effort coming back off the long layoff here, beating this field last time. 2 back, I should say, because he was okay in the Harlan's Holiday last time. I think hindsight, he's not a Harlan's Holiday kind of horse. But tomorrow, this was in the Gil Campbell, tomorrow from the inside in the Sunshine Classic, he's heck to pay. 7-5 on the morning line. I do want to mention lure him in. He had no chance in the Harlan's Holiday from the wide draw. He's a big danger in there. Herman Samlewinski have done a very, very good job getting him to win off the claim. 2 back, Coast to Coast pick 5 tomorrow as well. We've talked about this time and time again. You want to bet for the player? This is it. $1 minimum. Love that. 15% takeout. They've been betting $250,000 in this, in 200, 250 in this. It carries over. We saw that opening weekend. It carried over. 3 here, 2 at our sister track at Santa Anita. This is the window I like. We're in and out here with under 2 hours. That's good stuff. Get involved. We'll have tickets, so we'll talk about it tomorrow as well. Only the best bet, because unfortunately we lost both of our long shots today. My best bet is coming soon. Race 2, Battle of Dover. I don't know if we're going to get 5-2, but Irad's in there on the main danger, so maybe we'll get a better price than we should. Samantha, I wonder if she's going in race 9. I don't know this for a fact. No, she's going Common C. Speaking of Sam and Herm Walensky, she's going Common C. She's got the single later as well, but I like Common C there as well. I think that's a legitimate single if you need one, and that's my single to kick off that big Rainbow as well. That's it for me. 9 of them for you. I'll be back with you for the opener here in about 15 minutes. Pete's upstairs with your scratches and changes. Happy to have you aboard on a good 9 race card. That Rainbow, 550, race number 4. Get involved.